I'm Paul Norbury from 5 Plus Architects, and I'm here to talk about the Trafford Town Hall project. The project completed about a year ago, but started about 4 years ago, quite a long time in the making and quite a long time in the building. Very complicated project. It was really good to see it through. It started in 2008 with a developer-led bid led by Shepherd, the Shepherd Group, Shepherd Construction. We were their architects, and in 2009 we were collectively selected along with the wider design team as the winners to redevelop Trafford Town Hall and to build a new open plan office, a very sustainable, pretty low cost office on the back of the town hall as part of that project. The town hall was grade 2, or is grade 2 listed, and has been fully refurbished. The new build office accommodation is about 35,000 square feet, and the town hall itself is about 50,000 square feet. It's to accommodate about 1,000 people altogether, but with desk sharing and utilising some of the spaces in a different way. There's about 650 people to be located in the new office building, and about 50 in the town hall working in various offices and other areas. The concrete in the building played quite a big part of it. That from first principles we wanted the office building to be a sort of a deliberately low-tech, simple, sustainable building. So not all the bells and whistles, so the sustainable solution, but sustainable from the first principles of it being having a lot of thermal mass, having the ability to be naturally ventilated. And indeed it has been naturally ventilated for most of the year, although it does have a mixed mode system where the cooling via multi-service beams can be switched on if it gets too warm outside. We also have photovoltaics in the building when we're tapping into the aquifer for reducing the CO2 of heating and cooling water, and the aquifer is about 80 metres down below the ground surface, and the temperature comes up at about 11 degrees. In terms of the concrete, we have got exposed concrete soffits throughout the new build accommodation. They're at 3.35 metres high because we've lined up the two floors of the new building with the ground and the first floor of the town hall. Being a grand building, the floor to ceiling height is quite tall, so it gives us nice light and airy spaces. We've kept the office design pretty simple, and it's in 3 wings which are interconnected, but each of those wings is 15 metres wide, so it can effectively naturally ventilate, and you can appreciate at 3.35 metres high and only 15 metres wide, it's very good for natural daylight as well. The columns throughout the space, which are central, are all circular in a fine architectural concrete finish, and the columns against the facade are square, and some of which are hidden, and the ones that could be are all exposed. We also have exposed concrete walls, which are shear walls for stiffening various parts of the building. There's quite a long detailed process of sampling and fine-tuning the mix and the GGBS that went into the concrete mix, along with the detail of the spaces for the rebar against the shuttering, also the shuttering finish and the PVC liner for the circular columns. We also had a sub-soffit that we built below the soffit, so we could then lay the subcontractor could then lay all the plywood out just in its location, rather than having to align with the structured beams supporting the soffit shuttering. So that was just done with lost head nails, where they just pinned them in place, and all the reinforcement was prefabricated into 8 foot by 4 foot panels, which were then carefully lifted into place, all to minimise any impact on the soffit shuttering. So a lot of work and time and effort went into carefully getting the in situ concrete right. Program was also an issue, that we needed to make sure that we could do the various sampling and tests in enough time to make sure that the final solution was the right solution. And whilst it did take a little bit longer, what we did do is use some of the walls that were going to be built anyway but hidden, in other words in the primary core, the toilet areas, and test the different mixes in those areas, so that none of the actual test walls or columns were actually wasted in the end. The internal street actually connects the old and the new buildings together, and that goes from the reception area through to the sunken garden. That's a place that deals with not only vertical and horizontal circulation, but informal meetings, breakout spaces, It's also access into the cores, the staff lockers, the toilet areas, and so on and so forth. That looks onto an internal courtyard, which is a landscape space which was formerly a combination of bin store, loading bay and car parking, which was a really poor outlook for the previous users of the town hall. That's now closed off, and it's a quiet space which has a coffee bar terrace that overlooks onto it, and everyone in the new building looks across the courtyard into the old town hall building, and everyone in the old town hall building looks across the courtyard through the big glazed street wall into the new building. So it has that nice connection and that setting at the centre, at the heart of the site. Within the town hall itself, the reception is continued from the new building through into the old building. There's quite a lot of reception facilities in terms of meeting rooms and different sort of family areas and so on and so forth. We then have a coffee bar and a restaurant that continue along the ground floor, as well as some conference rooms. And the ground floor is open to the public, and that's one of the fundamental changes we were able to make from the original scheme. That the original building was closed off to the public. Literally, you had to have a security pass to get into the town hall, and that's not really how a town hall should be. Town hall should be for the people of the borough. So we have the coffee bar and the restaurant, which attract people in. The public can come in, they don't need to sign in at reception or anything, and that's also generating more revenue for the council. On the first floor, whilst we have the public space at ground floor, the first floor has the civic functions and some more corporate facilities up there, some executive meeting rooms. So some people are invited up to functions on the first floor, and then the second floor is a private area which has some open plan office space and sort of some miscellaneous meeting rooms and so on for staff use only. The whole I suppose setting of the building is a landscape setting which was previously very car dominated. Our scheme has moved the cars from being parked as close as they possibly can to the front door and in the courtyard and on any bit of grass that was available to the back part of the site. We have put a low level but decked car parking at the back to make sure we could maintain the car numbers that the council had in their brief for the building, but it's now a pedestrian biased area. So the front space in front of the building is a pedestrian-friendly area, a hard landscaped area. The other side of the building, which sees the restaurant terrace overlooking the sunken garden, is now a pedestrian route, and that used to be a road and a barrier to let staff in. And then the sunken garden itself used to have cars parking all around the edge of it. The cars have all been cleared out of that area, so it's all a softer, calmer, landscaped setting rather than just being car-dominated. Overall, the council are very happy with the space. They're obviously learning how to use the building, but they've been in a year now. They're very happy with it. They've had a lot of good compliments about it, and most importantly, the staff are very happy about it. The whole project at the outset was badged a transformational change from the council's brief, and I think that building has been the platform for the transformational change, and the council is certainly finding better attendance rates at work, better staff feeling and welfare and feedback, I suppose, from actually being in those new, more productive, more sort of friendly places to be in the town hall.